we make chemistry memorable. Alright, so I actually have instead of one giant issue, I have a bunch of little issues. And probably the biggest one is the lack of wealth and education. There are actually like two versions of that. There's one where I read a number of studies that actually connect failing grades in school to low-income housing, usually due to a lack of resources. And of course, in America, we have public schools that are free. In a lot of countries, a lot of people just can't afford to send their children to learn to do stuff. And a few other little issues are that another one that I'm tackling is that chemistry is boring, man. And a lot of big jobs that I know some of you really want to get into require a lot of chemistry classes. But a lot of things in there you aren't really familiar with, so you just end up losing focus on everything. And so a simple solution, you just make some cheap little stories. Well, not cheap as in they're low quality, I mean cheap as in anyone can access them, because they cost so little. So my solution is create some books and such, like this one here that I sketched on myself, that introduce basic topics to young children that relate to chemistry. Now the big problem with current solutions, there's obviously a lot of children's books out there and online resources, but the thing is they're either only high school students will be able to understand them, or it's very basic concepts. Any child knows what an atom is, or what'll happen if you touch acid. But they aren't exactly familiar with concepts like moles or what exactly bases do. So mine's an interesting in-between. Can you go back? And my solution is designed to be accessible to anyone, so it can be available online for free for anyone to access, along with translations to other languages, and it can read it to you if you're blind or something. But of course, not everyone has access to the internet, so there will also be physical copies available for as little as possible. And like I said, it would introduce concepts in chemistry, my prototype right here introduces what exactly a mole is, but it doesn't go in depth on all the equations and stuff, because obviously no 4-year-old can tell you what division is. Alright, and this is my prototype. It is one of the stories that, it's sort of the ideal story that would be available. It's just a simple little tale about the audience surrogate, a little hydrogen atom named Jenny, learning what a mole is from her professor friend Avogadro. And by introducing little concepts with characters like that, children will remember that. And then when they get into high school and they actually start learning about the specifics of Avogadro's constant and stuff, they'll think, oh hey, I remember that. And so it won't be completely new to them. And as for how this relates to all the subjects, obviously you know how it would relate to English and science, but how about human geo and math? Well, with the math aspect, a lot of math would have to be done to determine the lowest cost of materials possible to make this as accessible as possible. As some people can barely afford to get food every day. They won't have a ton of money to spend on books for their children. And for human geography, it ties into being accessible to anyone. It would be able to tie into and be translated into any language. And so any child from Indonesia could see it and start learning about it. Alright, and that is my presentation.